Good morning, everyone. It's new every morning. This is my podcast. I am your host, Tim Koger, and I'm up at 7:30 in the morning this morning on a Monday morning. It is January 19th, 2026, and it is a new week, a new morning, and I'm super excited about being here with you today. Got a lot of interesting little tidbits of information for you this morning. It seems like it's been a long time since Friday when I saw you and talked to you a little bit. But anyway, good morning, everyone. It is a new week, and I'm excited about the week. Each new week brings new adventures in my life, and I'm sure in your life too. As I look outside in front of me, it's cloudy, overcast, a little bit of snow on the ground here in central West Virginia. It's kind of cool out there. I haven't been out there yet, but I know it is. I have a fire next to me. So if you hear a fan running, it's the fire fan that keeps me warm in here that I enjoy. I have my West Virginia, one of my many West Virginia shirts on. West Virginia in the background. As you can tell, I am a West Virginia University fan. Not hard to tell that. But anyway, hope you had a good weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. I got to do a little teaching the youth at my church yesterday evening, which was unexpected delight. They keep me hopping. Sometimes they take me serious. Sometimes they don't take me serious, especially when I use my hands while I talk. I think they enjoy that, and I do it. But anyway, so I hope you're planning on having a good week. You need to if you're not. I have some stories I'm going to go through today. Once again, this will be, I won't be doing this again until Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you're going to have to find something else to do at 7:30 in the morning besides listen to me. I'm sure you can do that. And for all you morning warriors out there, I hope you're with me. I know that when I'm not on here every day, it kind of maybe gets you out of routine, but my schedule is so demanding right now that it's just hard to do that. Now, if this podcast audience ever grows to a really large group, then I might have to reevaluate that. Otherwise, here we are. So my first actually two stories are kind of intertwined, but the first one is the U.S. has a program called Artemis that is meant to return humans to the moon for the first time since 1972. Now, Artemis number one made an uncrewed schedule, I guess, trip in 2022. So they didn't have anybody on that plane, but it went to kind of set everything up. So this one is supposed to have manned people on it coming up soon. I know they were moving the large spaceship, for lack of better words. They were moving it onto the ramp. They were working on that yesterday, and so when they got all their things, all their ducks in a row, it's probably sometime in February they will be launching that. Now, the third one is scheduled for 2027, and on that trip they plan to actually put humans on the moon. The one coming up now is going to have humans on it, but they're not actually going to land on the surface. They're going to circle around and probably take pictures and get prepared for the humans actually landing in 2027. Now, what does the future hold for the moon? Well, my next story is about that. There is something quite astonishing about the idea of a vacation that doesn't yet exist, especially if the vacation is to the moon. So you can now put down a deposit to stay in a hotel on the moon. When's it going to happen? Nobody really knows, but it is coming. GRU Space is a company that is now accepting $250,000 deposits for people who want to reserve a future stay at what it calls the world's first lunar hotel. Yep, you'll be able to vacation in style on the moon in not too many years from now is what they're planning. So I could talk about that story a lot, but I think that's about all I can handle. So we'll see how fast that progresses. My next story is about a Frisbee. I'm guessing if you're listening to this, and I don't know who is because no one has said hello this morning as of yet, but I don't know how much you know about the Frisbee, but how it had started. But I'm going to give you a little bit of background and history about it because I thought it was kind of interesting. Now, it started, the Frisbee mindset started with a delicious pie. Yeah, that pie pan was the original Frisbee. Okay, now you can assume that pie tins would kind of fly. So there was a hello, Thomas. Nice to have you along. There was a pie company in Connecticut that the people that worked there, it was kind of the predecessor of what we have today. And they would take the pie pans as fun and just toss them around. All right. So they had no idea what they were starting. But according to popular legend, early in the 1800s or in the early in the 20th century. Good morning, Janet. Nice to have you along. Students at Yale started tossing empty pie tins to each other as a game, often yelling Frisbee as they let them go. So I don't know why they yelled Frisbee, but they did. Then in 1948, inventors Walter Morrison and Warren Frezzaroni created a plastic disc they called a flying saucer. Yeah, that's what they called it. It was just a kind of plain full plastic thing, because, and they called it a flying saucer because in the 40s and 50s, people were just kind of fascinated with flying saucers, with UFOs. In 1955, they had separated, and Walter Morrison reimagined the disc, and he called it a Pluto platter. So it went from a pie pan to a flying saucer to a Pluto platter. Now, his Pluto platter he demonstrated at the Los Angeles County Fair, where it caught the attentions of a company called Wham-O. Remember Wham-O? Wham-O Toy Company? Well, they're still around, I'm guessing. Now, they bought the rights to this Pluto platter and rolled out the first mass-produced model in 1957. Now, they were aware of the story about the Frisbee pie tossing, and they liked that name, I guess. They went with, it went with on them. So they went from changing the name from Pluto Saucer or whatever the name was, Pluto Planner. They changed the name from that to Frisbee a year later, and the rest is history. So 1958, the Frisbee came out, and we know how popular it is. Even today, you see Frisbees in lots of places. When I was young, it was super popular. Good morning, Mary. Nice to have you along. So that's the story of the Frisbee, and I'm guessing most people have a Frisbee not too far from them, and I don't know how long it's been since you threw one, but it hasn't been too long since I threw one. So Wham-O certainly made a good choice by calling it a Frisbee and bringing it out to the market. So my next story is about exercise. And we have found, we being not me, but research people have found that exercise is as effective as medication for treating depression. I mean, we know that depression is treated by a lot of medications, so I won't try to get into too much of that, but this study found that exercise is just effective. Movement can boost your mood according to the results of the new study. and it also relieves the symptoms of depression. A quote from the study says, "It's much easier for a primary care physician to prescribe medication to a patient. You just write it on a pad." And I can understand that. When a person is depressed, it's just a lot easier to say, "Here, write something down and say, take this. Take this. This will solve the problem." Well, and the reason is it's a little harder to get people to exercise. If you tell somebody that's depressed, think about it. Tell somebody that's depressed, if you exercise, you won't be depressed. And they say, "I'm too depressed to exercise." So I can understand why it'd be difficult to get people to exercise if they're already depressed. But the evidence shows that light exercise, light to moderate, where you just get your heart rate up some, feel maybe lightly winded or whatever, can be just as beneficial as vigorous, intense exercise, at least early on in your depression situation. So if you're depressed, you don't have to go out and do super hard stuff. Just do, just do things a little faster, or do it, get your wind in. Now, I've decided that I'm going to take this, I'm not really depressed, but I'm going to take this advice, I think. I'm going to start moving a little faster. Instead of walking, I'm going to start running to the refrigerator for some snack. And, when I go through a fast food drive-through, I'm not going to go through the drive-through. I'm going to get out and briskly walk inside to get my fast food. So I'm gonna try to take some of this advice up and start walking to things faster and doing things a little faster that I enjoy doing. Okay. All right. Well, listen. I really my next story. I kind of hate to. I really got to tell you. I kind of hate to report this story, but I found it fascinating, and so I am going to share it with you. And the reason I'm kind of hesitant is because it tends to put the male species, kind of in its place, so to speak. But I'm going to share it with you anyway. Wife wins $4.5 million mansion after ignoring husband's advice not to bother. Now, just so you'll know, this is not the lottery. This is entering a contest. The wife who ignored her spouse's suggestion to stop entering contests has won a mansion worth nearly $5 million, saying, and this is her quote, "This is precisely why I never listened to my husband." That's what she said. Nicola Dickerson became an instant multi-millionaire after winning the spectacular home in England's Lake District, which comes mortgage-free, fully furnished, with its own private lake. Yeah, you can see pictures of this stuff if you want to go look for them. So she bought her winning ticket with $33 as part of a drawing from Osmace, a group, I don't know how to pronounce that, Osmace, a group that arranges contests, giving away fantastic prizes as a means of raising money for charity. So they're raising money for charity with these prizes. People put money in, the prizes are great, and they raise money, which sounds like good thing. So after she won, she revealed that her husband of 38 years reportedly told her that she would, and I quote, "never win in a million years." That's what the husband said. Advice she's now glad she ignored. No kidding. She goes, and I quote, "I've been entering for years, and Martin has been moaning at me to stop. I like that even if I didn't win, I was supporting an amazing charity." And that's good. Even if she didn't win, she had a positive attitude of supporting a great charity. So here's another quote from her. "When I got the call from Osmace, I honestly didn't think it was real. I put the phone down and said to my husband, 'That was Osmos. Apparently I've won something, but it can't be real.'" She didn't even believe it. But they called back and they said, are you ready? They called back and they said, "We're outside." Don't hang up on us. We're outside. So she was thinking the best case scenario. She won like maybe $1,000 or something. And then when she went to talk to him, she found out she'd won a $5 million house. Yeah, here's another quote from her. We've actually been talking that very morning about downsizing soon to try to keep on top of our spending. But now we're upsizing massively. It's a funny old world. Yes, it is. Here's another quote she said, which, anyway, I'll just read it to you. Martin was joking that he's a little disappointed he didn't win a Porsche 911, but I reminded him that if he plays his cards right, I can afford to buy him one now. So he shouldn't be too disappointed. So we're looking, I love this quote. This is my favorite quote of all the quotes, because this kind of speaks to me. And this is a quote from her, we're looking forward to further supporting our children and grandchildren to help them give them the best possible start in life. The win feels like a generational legacy for our family. Generational legacy. I think she's probably right about that. That's pretty cool. It's really neat to see someone that's just entering contests, saying, "Oh well, even if I don't win, I'm donating to charity," and lo and behold, she won. So that's my feel-good story of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed most of these stories. I have a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. Today's Martin Luther King Day, and this may be. I mean, he had several good quotes, and I really liked the way he approached a disagreement because he approached it this way. Let me quote him, and I quote: "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." So he had the right attitude. Only love can drive out hate. But it seems in our society today, so many people, including people that profess to be King's followers, want to use hate and violence instead of love. And that's a sad situation, but there just seems to like everybody wants to fix problems with hate. And that just doesn't fix problems. All it does is create more hate. So my suggestion to you today is go out and be the light today. Don't take to that feeling that a lot of times when you're in front of hate or in front of negative, people are bringing that to you. It may not be hate, it may just be negative, but you can be the light. You can choose to be the light in the world today and every day. So I recommend today, understand that, love will always get you more better things in life than hate or just argumentative and things like that. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I'll be back on Friday, and I hope you enjoyed today. Like I said, we may go back to every day in one of these days, but this group's going to have to grow a lot for that to happen. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel because I'm a really busy person. I got a lot of things going on, and I just don't hardly have time to do more than 2 times a week. But anyway, you guys be blessed. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I will see you Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. Bye-bye.